Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian here. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Me, I'm not doing particularly bad, just sitting relaxing. So in this video, I wanted to make a video on the top 10 people that are likely to be Kamala Harris's running mate, and I'm going to rank them on who I think would help her the most, from who I think would hurt her the most to who I think would help her the most in the presidential election. And I'm also going to ultimately end up saying who I think it's going to be. So that's gonna be this video. Let's get right into it. And before we get into it, subscribe. All right. So, I've listed 10 people, on both pages. So without a doubt, let's get right into it. So, at number 10, the worst possible pick for Kamala Harris, the worst, like guaranteeing Donald Trump inauguration day, 2025, is Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. There's a number of reasons why. I mean, one, he's viewed as very weak. Two, you also have, he was very liked when he ran for president, but now that he's been transportation secretary, he's not been very liked at all. He's very unpopular, especially after him saying, what if an American can't afford a $75,000 electric car? Him just saying, figure it out. Or when him not going to the train in wreck. Those two things have really made him unpopular, and plus him just being lazy in general in the office. That's the worst possible pick. So you have those reasons why. He's very radical, so you're not going to unite the party on that. And another reason why is if Kamala Harris wants to separate herself from the Biden administration and say, listen, I work with Joe. Oh, I think Joe did a decent job, but I'm not Joe Biden. She cannot pick someone from his cabinet, and Pete Buttigieg is in his cabinet, so he's the worst possible pick. At number 9, the second worst possible pick for Kamala Harris is Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is the current governor of California. Now, there's a number of reasons. I mean, the Trump and J.D. Vance and RFK and all them will be able to use his record on COVID and with the lockdowns and stuff against him, him always trying to get a new law passed, stuff like that, they'll be able to use against him. Plus, he doesn't really have a good personality that's like relatable. He's got like a very much American psycho, like, yeah, I grew up rich, I've always been rich. So they could use so many things against him. And then take all that out of it. The main reason why is in all US history, almost always when you have two presidential candidates that are from the same state, they never win. And when you have a president and a vice presidential candidate that are from the same state, they never win. And him and Kamala Harris are from the same state, so that's why, just not a very good pick for her. Or then, and at number 8 is Hillary Clinton. Now, Hillary Clinton, compared to the other two that I listed, which Pete Buttigieg and Gavin Newsom are far-left extremists who are hell-bent on controlling Americans' lives, Hillary Clinton is somebody who is, yes, more of an old-school Democrat and maybe could appeal to old-school Democrats, but the thing is, though, she lost to Donald Trump. She's really not liked after that. She was not liked before, but she's really sort of lost her popularity. The Clintons have sort of became washed up in a sort of Randy Quaid kind of way. So she would not be a good pick. They could use her corruption scandal still, even though it's been, 8 years. They could still use that against her, but, she's just not a very good pick. Then there's the governor of Illinois, J.D. Fritzwater. I think I'm saying his last name right. Also, once again, not like Hillary Clinton, but just like I said, Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg, a far left extremist, not believing in crime should be forgiven. In fact, there's a very similar purge law now. It's not like a purge, thank God, but it's sort of compared to that. There's like a week where prisoners get released from prison, and where there's no trespassing for a month. It's a very weird law that he got passed, and it's crazy. So he would not be a good pick for her. All they have to do is use that. Another pick is Gretchen Whitmer. Gretchen Whitmer only won re-election is because the Republicans ran a radical conspiracy theorist candidate. Had the Republicans ran a traditional Republican, she would not be in the talks right now because she would be a one-term governor. So, yeah, she is by far not the right pick for Harris. She's once again a far-left extremist, as, never condoning Joe Biden for anything, and, just far left extremist, and very poor record on COVID and stuff like that, and just not a good pick for Kamala Harris. So out of these five, the only one that's on here that's not a far left extremist is Hillary Clinton, but still very unpopular. So now we're getting onto this side where these people are, I don't necessarily like them all. Not every American doesn't necessarily like them all, but they're a lot more popular and they're a lot more, they boost Kamala's chances a lot more. So at number 5 is Raphael Warnock, the senator from Georgia. You know, he was the first African American elected in Georgia. He flipped the Georgia Senate seat that had been years and years that had been ran by a Republican. He flipped it as a Democrat. Me personally, I'm not a fan of him. I do think that he's got a lot of the Biden-Harris agenda passed, which is, you know, caused inflation, caused the weak economy and all that. But at the end of the day, he is pretty popular amongst his base, and he could help Kamala Harris win Georgia, which is a must-have, which it's right now it's looking like Trump's going to win it. But yeah, he could significantly do that, and he could, you know, help her a lot in that. And then at number 4 is Andy Beshear. Andy Beshear is the governor of Kentucky. Also, once again, flipping a deep red state. You know, he's got that southern accent that could appeal to some Republicans. You know, I'm not trying to say that it would, but, you know, like some people say, you know what? He sounds like me. He sounds like he's a southerner. It might appeal to some southerner Democrats or whatever that might not be voting for Kamala Harris. That could, you know, significantly help her potentially. I'm not saying it would. I don't know much about Andy Beshear, but I know that he's pretty popular in his state, so that could help Kamala Harris significantly. And then at number 3 is Mark Kelly. Now, Mark Kelly is somebody that I personally used to like a lot. I really wanted him to win in 2020 because I thought, you know, because he was, you know, running this moderate. He says he's really an independent, not a Democrat, but, you know, very moderate. But really, he's been a far left extremist to me. But it's not just my opinion. And there's a lot of other people that, hate him and stuff. But there's also a lot of people that love Mark Kelly, that think that Mark Kelly is very inspirational, you know, with him healing his wife and everything. So Mark Kelly would be a good potential candidate to help Kamala Harris on the running mate side. And then at number 2 is Josh Shapiro, the governor of my state of Pennsylvania. In many ways moderate, but then also in many ways an extremist. You know, Josh Shapiro is, you know, it's kind of hard to tell if he's well liked in Pennsylvania because he did win in a landslide, but then again he was going up against an extremist conspiracy theorist, Doug Mastriano. So it's kind of hard, but Josh Shapiro definitely does appeal to independents and maybe some Republicans. The only thing bad that I would say about Josh Shapiro, well, there's two things. I would say that he's not been around long enough, which that could be a good thing and a bad thing. It could be a good thing to say that, you know what, he doesn't have a record against him and that they could use against him, but it could also be a bad thing to sort of say, like, alright, like, he doesn't have enough experience. Another thing is he supported a lot of the COVID lockdowns, which I think could hurt her. And then thirdly, some people think that he's cocky, like, and I can kind of see that he does give off a cockier tone but yeah, you know, he would certainly be a pretty good pick for Kamala Harris. And then at number 1 is Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, probably the only person on this list that I would remotely consider voting for, because he actually does have, you know, a lot of achievements, that a very moderate guy, a promise to legalize marijuana, and he did, and all that stuff. So Tim Walz, I feel like he would guarantee her Minnesota, even though if he's not a running mate, I think it will end up being Kennedy or Trump's victory. I don't see Harris winning Minnesota without Tim Walz as her running mate. But yeah, he is the best possible pick. He appeals to independents. He appeals to some Republicans. You know, he's got a good electoral track record, so he would be the best possible pick. Alright, everyone. So those were the people on the list, the 10 people that I think are most likely. I think it's going to be one of these 10 people as Kamala Harris's running mate. Like I said, the 5 on this side, I think, stand a lot more of a chance than the 5. Boost Kamala's chances is a lot more than the 5 on this side. So yeah, so that's the ranking of it, of how I think it would help her electorally. Now, I'm going to say this. I think it's going to be one of 2 on this list. I think it's most likely going to be Josh Shapiro. That's my personal opinion, even though it should be Tim Walz. I think it's going to be Josh Shapiro. Oh, and then secondly, if it's not going to be Josh Shapiro, I think it's probably going to be Pete Buttigieg, because Kamala Harris, just like Donald Trump, wants a yes man who will follow every single order, even though it won't help her election chances. But yeah, I think it's most likely going to be one of those 2, and I'd say ranking them of, you know, what the odds are, I'd put Josh Shapiro at number 1. I think it's going to be him. Pete Buttigieg at number 2. I'd put Gretchen Whitmer at number 3. Newsom at number 4. Or J.D. Fritzwater at number 5. Clinton at number 6. Tim Walz at number 7. Andy Beshear at number 8. Raphael Warnock at number 9. And then Mark Kelly at number 10. So that's what I think it is. I think it's either going to be Josh Shapiro or Pete Buttigieg. I'm going to say 60% chance it's Shapiro, 40% chance it's Buttigieg. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think, guys. Guys and girls, everyone knows I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris. I think she's a communist. I think she's been a horrible vice president. I think she's just as much of a threat to democracy, if not more of a threat than Donald Trump is. I'm a Kennedy supporter, but I do still find it interesting to see who her running mate's going to be. I guess we'll see next week. So, once again, these are just my opinions, so don't kill me in the comment section. So, yeah, comment and let me know. Oh, who do you think is going to be the communist, Kamala Harris? Who do you think is going to be her running mate next week? In the comment section. And who do you think will hurt her the most, and who do you think will help her the most? Oh, so me personally, like I said before, I think Tim Walz helps her the most, and I think Pete Buttigieg hurts her the most. Alright, everyone, so that's going to be it for this video. As always, the huge like, share, comment, favorite, and most importantly, please, 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 I am begging you, please subscribe and ding the bell. Alright, everyone, thanks for watching. I love you all. God bless you. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.